Nathan, how you doing, buddy? Listen, I decided to do a response to this video, but let me first take this mask off. You know, the mask that your country put on the whole world, the mask that coronavirus. You do remember about coronavirus, right? When your government first killed a doctor who reported it to the world, Dr. Lee. They literally killed the guy, and then, by the way, is that human rights abuse? I'm not sure, Nathan, the way you made, trying to sound like it was some kind of utopia, but facts kind of differ a little bit, because the Dr. Lee who reported coronavirus, he was kidnapped by the authorities and was forced to say that he was lying, even though he wasn't. And then when your main terrorist government found out what was going on, they decided, okay, let's save the Chinese people. I'll give them credit for that. They did save a lot of Chinese people, because right away, they cut off travel from Wuhan to Beijing to Shanghai, all over China. They cut it all off. But you know where they didn't cut it off? Internationally. You could still go from Wuhan to America, to France, all over the world. Why would they do that? Well, it's very simple. Because your so-called benevolent government decided, oh, well, we're sinking, we might as well take the whole world for us. So my question to you is, how many innocent people, not just in America, but all over the world, how many innocent people were put into poverty because of that? How many people lost their jobs or ability to provide for their families because of that? How many people went from work to being on a government welfare? Or hell, if they're not even in America or Canada, they probably didn't even get that. Your government is responsible for destroying your government, the government you so love, the government you call so benevolent, is responsible for destroying the world economy. And this, my friend, is a crime against humanity. And guess what? We're just getting started. You were talking about terrorism and how the Chinese government stopped it in Xinjiang. Well, you know what? I don't necessarily have anything negative to say about putting people in re-education camps who are terrorists. Unlike most Americans, I think a couple people in this country belong in re-education camps. Black Lives Matter, a whole bunch of other people, but that's a story for another day. But when you were talking about these people who are being forced to put in the re-education camps, what I would call, let me ask you something. While I agree that might not be a bad process, but there's a difference between a re-education camp and a gulag. See, in a re-education camp, what they do is they try to, quote unquote, educate you. They try to show you the error of your thinking, the error of your ways. Well, that's a little bit different from a sweatshop. Because let me go back to this right here. Do you know, in Xinjiang, those concentration camps, the workers were forced to make stuff like this and send them around the world? See, that's when you stop losing your legitimacy of saying this is a jest to educate. Because they were forced to work. That, my friend, is a gulag. You know what else? Let's say they were just re-educating these Muslims to love China. Okay. You can argue semantics, but let's just say that's okay. You know what isn't okay? You know how I can prove that argument is just a fallacy? Because they're sterilizing women. That means they're preventing them having babies, and that is genocide, my friend. So again, this benevolent government that you love to defend, and again, the evil United States, China commits more crimes against its people in a day than the United States does a year. The United States has created more prosperity than every single country in world history combined. And when it comes down to China and America, let's not forget who's ripping who off here. China rose up because America allowed it. And, sometimes feeding somebody, they get accustomed to it. Well, what happens when we pull that plate away? That whole so-called utopia collapses like the house of cards it is. So again, if you wish to respond and tell me how forcing people to work is not a concentration camp, how sterilizing women is not a genocide, please let me know. Until then, Nathan, I gotta put my mask back on, because of that coronavirus thing that your people released. Oh, I'm not your people, excuse me. Your benevolent government. Tell them thanks. Bye-bye. Toodaloo now.